G'day, welcome back. We're in the shed. So following the last episode where it was all about the wheels and more 3D printing, I've just got a list now. I've got everything I need to do to finish this thing. So I'm going to start going through that list now. And these are the first 2 items. Okay, so I mentioned a while ago, just got to fit that Aeroflow fuel filter, which will come out of the tank. Okay, so the hose coming out of the tank, I'll put that 40 micron filter on, and that's the only one I'll have. Probably should have another one at some point, but I think I'll just, for now, I've got this, so I'll just put that off. I'll put that on. I'll have to cut the hose coming out near the tank, probably about 30 centimeters away, and if it's a nice little cavity area that I can tuck it up near the chassis rail. So I'll do that. And then this is the clamp and hose kit for the fuel filler. So that silver hose there with the 2 little small breather pipes, I painted those, but that's the original. And yeah, this is like a hose clamp that goes between the tank and the body. So that pipe clamps onto the actual shell of the body, where the fuel outlet is, and it goes down, and then there's this flexible hose that bridges the gap between the tank. Just obviously you got some movement between the chassis where the tank is bolted onto and the actual body where that's bolted onto. So that gives that flex. It gives you a little gasket as well, but it's a real pain in the ass to install. So I've got to drop the tank again, which will work in my favour anyway, because I have to drop it to tighten up those fuel hoses just on the top of the Holly pump, because I never actually got to tighten them up. The space on the top was not big enough, so I have to drop it anyway to do that. I'm still unsure as to how those hoses connect to the smaller breather hoses as well, so there's a couple of things going on there, but I'll figure it out as per usual. It's a bit of a nightmare, this job. So from what I can see, you have to put the fuel filler tube pipe with the grommet on first to try and get it in, because otherwise if you put the grommet in first, you don't have the angle. So do that, and then I'm going to install like the large breather hose and then the smaller one after. That grommet broke, so I'm just going to put it through anyway and fill it with Sikaflex later on, just to bridge that gap in that small hole, because I can't be bothered waiting for another week. We're going to start this thing tomorrow. So I'm going to install this now, and then we'll get the tank up and finish it. But yeah, that's one of the more unpleasant jobs in this assembly process, that's for sure. All right, big day today. So Tim Eddy, who I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, is coming from Bacchus Marsh today. He's arriving in about 5 minutes in his WB, so I'm going to check that out. But we're going to actually start the ute today. A little bit of work left on the tank and stuff, but yeah, pretty much ready to go. So excited and nervous all at the same time. So, but first we'll check out Tim's ute. Beautiful. It's surreal seeing it, a ute driving down the driveway.
I'll have to go for a drive, mate. It'll inspire you.
Oh yeah. How you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Beautiful day. So this is Tim Eddy, everyone. You probably mentioned him a couple of episodes ago, so he's going to help me start her up today, and this is his beast. So what's the breakdown on this build, Tim?
Bought it as a 6.
Yeah.
Did a 308 for it.
Yeah.
Got it registered with that, and it was always a plan to go bigger horsepower, so she's now 383 stroker.
Yep. Yeah.
Come racing with forged internals, 600 series come racing heads, 750 double pumper. Got plenty of goodies in it.
We'll have a look, yeah.
I had 525 on the dyno.
Yep.
500 foot-pound of torque.
Wow.
Turbo 350. 3,500 stall speed.
Yeah, it's the same as mine, yeah.
Just broke 9-inch
Yep.
through track centre, 325 gears,
Yep.
and just beautiful to drive.
Sounds good.
Ton of power,
Yeah. Oh, it would, wouldn't it?
aircon, power steering, it's got everything.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much now where you can just turn the key and go wherever you want to go, which is what I wanted, which is why I got it fully registered.
Yep. It's petrol though, isn't it? It's not, or is it on gas?
No, she's petrol.
Petrol. It's the only way to go, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Run off 98.
Yeah.
Otherwise she'll ping me.
Yeah.
But with the stroker, we upgraded the air conditioner. We customised condenser.
Yep.
New compressor, receiver, dryer, and now it is cold. It's really good. So very happy with it.
That's the thing. You got to draw the line between having a reliable car and having power, don't you? That's the thing I'm worried about.
When I built the stroker, it was everything had to be super reliable. I want to be able to get in and drive it to a Chica the WB weekend if I wanted to.
Yep.
And not put a spanner on it. And so far, that's been the case. So
the beauty of having Tim's rig here is we can sort of look, things that have been done on his, we can apply to mine, but it's pretty much already there.
All the little 1%ers.
And it sitting nice too. I suppose the suspension on this is probably similar to mine. What do you got on the back?
It's I've just upgraded new leaves, new shackles.
You don't have a drop. You don't have a drop.
No, I don't. They're 15-inch wheels. I bought the wheels, and Matty at Geelong Diffs just built the diff to suit.
Yeah, because that sits perfect in my eyes.
They're as tight as you'd want them, those tyres under the guards.
They're big.
The diff was custom made to suit the wheels, and it just come out perfect. And even the front is just standard springs, just King's standard height. It's all original paint, mate. I'm too scared to even
We don't need
try and rub it back and paint it. It's still too good. It's sort of not bad enough to
give it a.
Yeah. Are you thermo fans like we talked about?
Yeah. Yep.
Just sit there and never get hot. Even the aircon on doesn't get hot.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm worried about. Tim mentioned that those Chinese fans I've got aren't going to cut the mustard, and I tend to agree, but I've been a bit lazy, and I just trying to save a bit of money and not buy that AU fan. But it's
that's fair enough. And I started with the same as you.
Yeah.
Those just pull plenty of air. You just can't beat it.
Yeah.
Got a thermo switch.
Yep.
Especially when you're running aircon.
Yep.
They both come on when you turn the aircon on.
Yep.
And it just keeps it cool. So, idling around town the hot day, that's the most stressful thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have personal fans, which will soon work out.
Good excuse not to go to the city.
The shifter, I just had to play around to get it in the right spot, but it's not impeded by the dash or anything. It just works perfect.
Good.
Yeah. Radio delete. Just put a couple of gauges in there. Just wanted to keep everything old school.
And I've still got this, which I've been contemplating keeping.
Yeah, I'm still more than happy with the standard wheel.
Yeah. There's something about these that are quite cool, I reckon.
Yeah. Plenty of insulation under the carpet. It's just beautiful.
6 years ago I got out of mine and I haven't been back in. This is the first one I've sat in since.
Yeah. So I thought we'll go for a drive. It'll inspire you to finish it.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, we'll wrap it up and we'll start having a look at the other one.
So we can't get yours sounding the same.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we've been at it for off camera for a while. Basically, we had an issue with the distributor cap, the original Bosch distributor cap or distributor was missing a modulator on the side because at Tony's place at his workshop, he went to a unit on the dyno and actually it was not on this car, it's not part of this car. So we went and got another distributor and that's solved the issue. So we've just given it a bit of a
New coil, new distributor.
yeah. So we've got the coil was probably all right in the old one, but I bought a ICE unit, which is a much better, newer coil anyway. And Tim's been hard at it. I couldn't have done without you, Tim.
That's all right, mate.
So we have started it. It sounds like a bit of a rocket.
We had to get the mixture.
Yeah.
Just can check the timing, do the mixtures, run over it, get a bit of heat into it.
Yep.
And yeah, let it run for a while. Certainly sounds nice.
Yeah. We've just got these.
Thermo fans hooked up.
So we've got it. This Davies Craig one's pretty snazzy. So at the moment it's saying 50, but if you click it again, you can set the increments on degrees Celsius, and I've got it on to 80. Was it 82?
Yeah.
So that should all be working. And put water in the radiator.
Give it a kick.
Give her a kick.
Yep.
All right. Here we go.
Yep.
Fired it up, and what did we do, Tim? You probably
Just
better
done the
explaining.
mixture. It's got it idle a bit better. Once it's got a bit of temperature in it, check the timing.
Yeah.
But it's set at about 10 degrees for now. We don't have any vacuum advance hooked up yet, so
Yep.
it's all good. We've got oil pressure. Thermo fans are working.
Yep. I brought it down from 82 to 75 pretty quickly.
Yep.
The only thing that's not working is the oil pressure sender gauge, or the sender.
But we think that's the gauge.
Yeah. Well, it flicks up on accessories, but when it starts, it goes back down to 0.
Yep.
Same with the actual water temperature as well.
Should tart it a little bit.
But yeah, it's got a lumpy old idle.
It's got a big decent cam in it.
Yeah. A 280 solid cam for those who haven't tuned in before. Flat tap it.
What's this been? How long since you put it in? 2 years?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
A long time coming.
Yeah.
Today's the day.
Today has been a long time coming. I couldn't have done without Tim. He's bloody been, awesome at getting this working. And you can see the gauges there. Volts working, fuels sender's working, and the oil pressure and temperature were working on accessories, but they drop off once start. So I think it might be an earth issue. But other than that, bloody stoked, and I can't wait to just bring it forward now and get it assembled. Before I end this video, I've actually got a couple of more things I'd like to try and get out, and one of them is the center console and the Turbo 350 bang shift, which is an Aeroflow one that I bought. So I'll quickly, if you want to hang around, I'll quickly go over that and see what I'm planning to install that. All right, so this is the bang shift that I bought from Aeroflow. Now it's probably a copy from B&M of some description, but yeah, I've done some research on these, and yeah, they're well made, even though they're probably made overseas. They are manufactured quite robustly, and yeah, that's a billeted aluminium gear knob there, and the rest is, yeah, it's pretty robust. It's good. It's got good connections there for the gearbox wires to go in, and they'll carry off into the loom. And yeah, you've got this reverse shutout there, and you put the red selector. So there has to be a couple of mods to make this work, the original center console. And I'm yet to find out what they are, but I'm just going to roll with it as I usually do. So the first thing I was going to want to do is get more of a higher position for this, because it sits too low. And you'll see when I actually get the center console, you'll see that it needs to be raised up. And so anyway, I was looking at an option, and there's a bit of a recess in there from the old gear shift, from the old T-bar auto, and that was off a Gemini. So yeah, that's still in there, and I've covered that up with the butyl rubber. But I was going to weld that plate in, but then I was thinking, I saw these online. These are basically a recess drop gearbox mount. So, you know, if you want your shifter to sit lower, you cut your tunnel out and you slot this in, and you weld it in, and it'll allow that shifter to sit deeper into the tunnel, which, you know, a lot of people may find that that they need to do that. But I need it to be raised. So when I saw these things online, they were only something like $40 or $50, and it's actually quite thick. It's about 2 mil steel. It's already welded, it's already got the holes there, and it's already got a taper on it. So I was thinking, well, the time I'm stuff around trying to weld that up, I'll never get it as straight, and it'll take me all day. So I just bought that, flipped it around, and I'll sit it on that tunnel, and I'll work out my measurements, and then, yeah, I'll make a couple of cuts and fold this down and spot weld it in, and then that's where it'll sit. So I'm pretty sure that's going to give me the height I need for the clearance for that to get into the original console. But I'm yet to actually put the console in and test that, so we'll do that now. And here we are. So this is the Rare Spares reproduction center console. I lashed out and went and got it. I was looking at a few aftermarket, well, not aftermarket, I was looking at original ones, secondhand on Facebook, and yeah, people want good money for them. These center arms are the ones that cost the most, actually. This little mechanism here and that leather foam section, the pad, that's where the money is. If you find original ones with those that don't need reupholstering, you're doing well. And yeah, so you're spending probably 500, mid-5, probably 550, 400 for one that's pretty ordinary. And even with that $500 one, you'll need to repaint it and maybe do some plastic welding and things like that. A lot of the time you don't get the brackets with that as well. So it's about 750, so it's a fair bit of money, but you're getting something that's brand new. It's like the cowl panel. There's a few things that Rare Spares do really well, and that cowl panel is one of them, because it's done off the original mold, and this center console is also another one, plus the GTS dash. Actually, those three items have been absolutely flawless. So if you're thinking and you're on the fence, $750 is a lot of money. I'm not getting anything from Rare Spares for promoting that, but yeah, as I said, I always mention something that's, if it's good, then I'll mention that it's good. If it's bad, I'll mention it's bad. So yeah, this one's good. What I want to do with it now is you can take this off. It's actually screwed on from underneath, so don't just go ripping off. You have to take those screws out. Unfortunately, it's hitting there, so that would have to be trimmed and lowered down a bit. So that may affect my clearance. Jaco. Unfortunately, Jaco's been running away. For those that have seen him around the channel, he's been with me for years, but he's decided since I've had a little baby on the scene, he's shooting off all the time. So I'm hoping he doesn't get hit by a truck or something like that and he comes back. Anyway, so that's with that on the mount, and you can see clearance-wise, pretty good. But you've got that little spring there that's sort of shaving it pretty close. And if this sits down a bit further, once they're trimmed, I reckon I'm going to be struggling for clearance. You can see that's just going to look sensational once that's done. Really looks factory. Yeah, so I really am just going to hook into it, start doing some measurements, get the position right. Really need to have the seats in to figure out exactly where it's going to sit. But the thing is, with these consoles, they slot into a certain position on the tunnel, and that's sort of where they sit. So you've got to sort of work with that and then adjust the position accordingly to how much space you've got. Oh yeah, and don't expect to get your mounting brackets with that 750. You've got to spend another $89 to get these mount brackets, which are crucial because it's just a lot of work to fabricate, those mounts when you don't really need to. And they're good thick steel, so yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would fold it up, no dramas, but for me, to get a good fold on that thicker steel, it's really hard with the tools I've got. So for $80 or stuff, I'll just buy it. It's done. I can move on with other things. So anyway, I'm just going to hook in now and try and get this plate sorted so that it can sit further back down. All right, bit of an update on this console. So what I've done is I've managed to make a bit of a meal of it. But it's always the way when you try those things. So I've just placed it here for a bit of a look, but as I mentioned, the ratchet that I have got, and I probably got the wrong one, is it does have this reverse lockout lever here, and the rest is the same. It's pull back and then push back up for the gears, and that's all fine. However, with this designed console, you don't have the spacing here for that lever to poke up. There is another one that doesn't have that lever, which you just lift the unit and push it forward. Unfortunately, because it's been longer than 6 months, I can't exchange this ratchet back, so I'm stuck with it and I'm going to make it work. I know I can. What I did is I drilled a few holes through this plastic to try and get a bit of a spacing for it, which is fine. It's going to be cutting it really fine, but unfortunately, because this is a kind of a Perspex-y material, it's shattered. You can see a crack there, which is crap, and at this point I'm going backwards and wasting money. However, what I've done is I've scanned this unit and I'm going to make a bespoke 3D printed ABS part for it, and I won't bother about this sort of shiny Perspex, so it doesn't particularly worry me too much. But I do worry about this window here. You can actually take this out like that. So, yeah, I'll have a look at taking that out, 3D print a new section, and that way I can make a nice little window for that reverse lockout lever, and I can copy the rest of it pretty much as is. It just won't have that shininess on the end. But I'm all right with that anyway. So if this ratchet lines up with the letters that are on there, then I should be able to reuse it once I've done that. So yeah, sometimes you've got to go backwards to go forwards. It doesn't look pretty at the moment, but it will. I've got the brackets in there. I've got some measurements from some mates online that have got ones welded in already, and those two brackets, the one at the front, can't see it, it's covering it, and the one at the rear, they are tack welded on to the tunnel, so I'll have to remove some of that butyl rubber and tack it on. So I just would quickly touch on this gear selector for the ratchet. So this is the one out of the console, and you can see it's got a painted orange selector there that runs across underneath that clear Perspex, and it just positions itself on the gear that you're in if it lines up. Now initially I was, this red section here is what comes stock in the bang shift. The problem is that's on a curved surface, and the surface obviously in that console is straight, so that's not going to work, and that was why I was going to hand it back. However, I've noticed there's this little lug here that I'm assuming is for what this is here. So this has got a little, I was going to 3D print something, and I was like, how do you do it? How do you get a curved surface to run along a sort of parallel sliding surface? And the way I thought is basically what they've got here anyway. So this comes with the console. It comes with this little tunnel, and what I can imagine that this would do is it would slide over that lug like that, pop in. So as I'm ratcheting back and forth, this has a vertical allowance to go up and down to accommodate for that curve onto that lug. So, you know, it sort of goes, as it goes up, it'll do that and then come back down slowly. So it'll always be running parallel to that Perspex selector. So that's the theory. Got to put into practice, but I think it'll work, and if not, I can always tweak it. So that's where that's at the moment. So yeah, chucked a seat in as well, just to get an idea of you know, the feel for it. I've ordered the carpets and trim off Cool Trim, and they should be arriving in the next few days. And I've got the dash just positioned in there. So once I get this console sorted and this shifter sorted, then I'm going to put the other seat in, put the carpet in, and then yeah, we're racing to the finish line, and then I can start hanging the doors. So Tim Eddy came over and started assembling one of these doors with me. He's pushed me along a bit with the assembly, and it's a two-man job hanging these panels. So yeah, we're in the process of doing that door there, and then once the carpets are in, and once the carpets are in, then yeah, then it's pretty much I can hang the door and the guards. But as you can see, it's looking really nice now that it's dropped down the ground. Yeah, really happy with it. With those wheels, they look bloody good. So it's coming together. And some progress on the WB tail light bucket that I did that video on last time. So that is one installed there to a factory lens. It took quite a bit of tweaking to try and get the body lines right, but it's snuck. It's in there. It's all white at the moment. But what I've done additionally is I've upped the mounting points on this and upped the or reinforced them, basically made them stronger. I've just used some Allen bolts straight into that plastic at the moment to secure it. But going forward for production, I'm going to put a insert in there, Melton insert in there, so it's got a nice steel thread inside the plastic that you can go straight in without using those pole lugs that are in the old ones. But I'll quickly take it out and show you. All right, so here we are. This is the unit back out, or the revised unit, so prototype number 2. This is the original lens. So I've modelled it to the original lens, not the aftermarket lens. And you can see the gasket fits on now with those lugs. I've also got, yeah, the buckets came out really good. I've redesigned the bucket so it's completely smooth, and I'm really happy with the way it is manufactured now in print. It's really strong. And I've got those little earth tunnels in there, as well as the bulb or the socket tunnels. And that was always going to be a really challenging part of the build. And these mount lugs, or the mounting points, are really strong now and all done in one piece. The back gasket fits on, even with the reinforced mounting points that I've re-engineered, it still fits on beautifully. I've got the loom tunnel there as well that I've put in. So you can see that coming through there. I've got the mounting point there with a hole. I've got all the ridges, all as per factory. The inside one's higher than the outside one by about 2 mil. You've got all these varying heights on these mount points. They're all different according to what section they're on. These ridges on the bottom section, they're all been re-engineered or remodeled to accommodate the fitting into the shell of the actual ute. You can see that bottom mounting point there. That's different to factory. I've actually re-engineered that for 3D printing, but also just to be stronger. And you can see that middle one's really beefed up. And so is the top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some thread certs in there, and you can heat them up and actually melt them into the body of that hole. And so you can screw directly in with the threaded insert. You don't have to worry about those old-fashioned poles that were in the old ones. All the stabilizing mounts and stuff are exactly the same as factory. And I'm really, really happy. This is ready to go, basically. So I'm in the process of talking to a couple of people about developing a modern loom for these, and there were some issues with the old earthing system on these, and so you don't necessarily need to follow the identical way it was made if there's better ways to do it now. So looking at getting those sockets and loom sorted, but these pretty much, other than a paint and a silver inside, are ready to go. They fit directly into the body, and they will be ready to accept the factory lenses. If you've got a set, they can also fit the aftermarket lenses as well. But these original ones are a better fit than the aftermarket ones, as per usual with everything. So that's the update on the WB taillight bucket. Well, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up for that one. I've run out of time for that centre console. I'll pick it up in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed the first startup of the engine inside the ute. And I'm so close now. I mean, you can just see it's not on its wheels. Really, a couple of guards and some doors, and it's a ute again. So I can't wait to take it for its first spin very shortly, coming into spring. Good weather for it, and very excited. So thanks for watching again. Hopefully I'll get another episode out quickly next time, probably in the next couple of weeks, about that console, and we'll get the carpets and stuff going in, and yeah, I'll get this thing going again. And yeah, we'll fire it up, get it out of this shed once and for all. Thanks to everyone that's been supporting the channel, especially through buying the adapter kits, things like that. It's been going from strength to strength. You can get a loom on there now if you haven't seen it already, so check out Unique Parts. I'll always give it a plug. Don't care what anyone says. I'm proud of it. And I'll see you in the next episode. See ya.